Okay, this video is to summarize investigation 4A. So investigation 4A, we have three key points and that you really need to understand and be able to do it by yourself. So the first point is M of A comma B equals M of B comma C if and only if A, B, C are collinear. This means the slope between A and B equals slope between B and C. Then ABC are collinear, and also if ABC are collinear, then the slope of those two pairs will be the same. And the next one is M equals how to get the slope. Second y minus first y over second x minus first y, and the last point is the slope between A and B is the same as slope between B and A. So let me go through first points. Let me show you some examples. Let's say we have some points right here. Let's say A equals the point A. Let's say point A is, I don't know, 2, -3 maybe, and let's say point B is, whatever the point, 5, 6. And also, let's say, let's say point C is 8 and 15 maybe? Okay, let's see. The slope between, so let's graph first. So that may be easier to um, see it. So let's graph those 2 points. Let's say we have some graph like that. And 2, -3 will be 1, 2, and 3 down. This is A. B will be 5, 6, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's point B. And point C will be 8, so 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere over here. And 15 will be somewhere up here. So the question is, are these three collinear? Collinear means the same line, on the same line. So in other words, ABC are collinear. In other words, that means those 3 points are on the same line. So how do we see that? How do we find that out? That actually, we need this to understand the point 2. If we have 2 points, so point 2, that actually is M equals second y minus first y over second x minus first x. So let's try to find out slope between A comma B, A and B. This is that's how you read it. This is just a notation. Slope between A and B. So that means A is the first point and B is the second point. So this y sub 2, it means the second y, which is the y from point B. In this case, it's 6, because point A is 2 and -3, and point B is 5 and 6. So we subtract second point, second y, which is 6, minus first y, which is the point on the first y, point on the y in the wait a minute, y coordinate of first point, which is -3. So make sure you use parentheses right here, because so many people makes mistakes right here. Over, then you take the x coordinate of the second point, which is 5, minus x coordinate of the first one. That's what it means by, oh wait a minute, this is not x. This is not a y. This is x actually. I'm sorry. First y. So so this means second y, or x coordinate of the second point, minus x coordinate of the first point. In this case, it's 2. And as you know, subtracting negative number is just simply a plus sign, so it's simply adding. So it's 6 plus 3 over 5 minus 2, which is 3. So 9 over 3, we can simplify, that's 3. So the slope between A and B is 3. So the first point says, if slope between A and B is the same as slope between B and C, then these 3 points are on the same line, which is collinear. So let's find out slope between B and C. Slope between B and C, so the first point is B, which is 5, 6. And then the second point is 8, 15. So we take, so that's second y minus first y over second x minus first x. That means, so we take the y coordinate from the second point. That's what I mean by this notation. So it's 15 minus first y, so that's the y coordinate of the first one, which is 6, over x coordinate of the second point, which is 8, minus first one, which is 3. So that's 9 over, I'm sorry, I did something wrong. Oh, this is 5, sorry. That's 3. So that's 3. So the slope between A and B is 3, and also slope between B and C is 3. Therefore, these two are equal. That means, so point ABC right here, R will be on the same line. This looks horrible, but you know what I mean, right? It's on the same line. Oh, this looks horrible. Let me stop it. Okay, so that's what it is. The last point, the final points that we've been through for this problem investigation is slope between A and B is the same as slope between B and A. So let's say we have a point here, let's call it A, and wherever the point B, arbitrary points, that's B. Slope is the steepness. So the steepness between A and B are the, if the slope between A and B are the same, then the slope between B and A is the same. That sounds very trivial and common sense, because steep between A and B is the same as steepness between B and A. That sounds very, but how do we prove that in mathematics, right? So the slope between A and B, that is the slope from A to B. So we go up, whatever the space is, let's say A spaces, and then you go over B spaces. Therefore, the slope between A and B is rise over run, which is A over B. However, if we go down, if you're talking about slope between B and A, then we are gonna start from point B. Then the slope between B and A will be, you started from B and you go down the same space, which is A spaces. So you go down A, so we use negative sign. And then you go to the left, which is the opposite of B, so we use negative B. Therefore, the slope between B and A will be negative A over negative B. But we know that by multiplicative identity, negative A is negative 1 times A, and then negative B is negative 1 times B. And we also know that negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. So basically we can cancel this out. So we ended up having A over B, which is exactly the same as slope between A and B. Therefore, slope between A and B is the same as slope between B and A.